Hi, this is Kaylee from Crafting on the Fly, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute heart crochet top. And it's actually based all on a granny square and also the hexagon shape. So we're going to start with the sides left and right. Just start with a slip knot and then do a granny square. It's not a square if it's a hexagon, so a hexagon inside it. So what you're going to do is just 3 chains there, and then a double crochet and another double crochet. And I'm actually using this bulky weight, or actually it's a 4, and then chain 1, do another double crochet and another one and the third one. So it's all based on those clusters of 3 double crochets. And I want to say that I'm actually using a number 8 crochet hook and a 4 medium-sized weight yarn. So there's another set of 3, chain 1, another set of 3 double crochets. So since it's a hexagon, it's going to be 6 clusters of those 3 double crochets. So I think this is the last one. Right there. And then chain 1. Now I have to do one more set of 3 double crochets, one more cluster. Chain 1, and then let's see, we have 3 here, 3, another 3, another 3, and so we have all 6 of them. You can pull that slip knot there close, or the magic loop, and then just slip stitch to the start. And that's your first round. And the second round, again, start with 3 chains, and then go back into that chain 1 space from the previous round, the one that we just made, and do another 2 double crochet in there. So that's one set of the 3, the cluster. And then you move over to the next chain 1 space and do a cluster in there, so the 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then another cluster, another 3 double crochets. So for this round, in all 6 chain 1 spaces, you're going to do those 3 double crochets, chain 1, and another 3 double crochets. And that will be your 4 corners, or actually your 6 corners, since it's a hexagon, that you need to make that sweater. And so you have to do those all the way around. In all the chain 1 spaces from the first round. So just keep on going with those 3 double crochets, chain 1, and another 3 double crochets in all the chain 1 spaces. And the sweater actually can be totally adjusted to your size. So I did this one for my size, which is probably like a medium, but I did it as a tight sweater. So maybe a small for other people. Or the other way around. But yeah, because it was really tight. So you're doing the first whole rows and rows to fit your arm. So whatever you need to actually cover your arm and make it comfortable the way you want it. If you want to have larger arms or if you want to have it tighter. So depending on that, that's how many rows you're going to do for this first part of the sweater. And you're going to do one right side and the left side. And then we're going to connect them with the hearts in the center. So once you're around, you slip stitch to the start again, And you can see how it's all wobbly because you have a net, but there you have your 6 corners everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're gonna do corners in all the corners, and in between you're just gonna do the cluster. So you chain 3 again, double crochet into that chain 1 space from the previous round, that last one. And then you're moving on to the next space. It's not really going to be space for those, but just like that area between the clusters, and you're going to just do a cluster in that one. So 3 double crochets. And then you're getting to the corner, that chain 1 space. So in every chain 1 space, you're going to do the 3 double crochets, a chain 1 space, and 3 double crochets, because that's going to be your corners, all the 6 corners. Right there, and then you're moving on to the next. That's the chain 1 space, but before you have just that space between the clusters, and that's where you're just going to put a cluster as well. And with each another row that you're going to do, there's going to be more spaces in between those corners that you have to fill with the clusters. So again, that chain 1 space is going to have the 3 double crochets, a chain 1 space, and another 3 double crochets. So you're going all around it, and here you can already see, once we fold this over, how it's just like a tiny mini sweater. This would be so cute for like a Barbie. But yeah, so you keep on doing that, and that's gonna make it bigger and bigger. So once you're at this size, that's what I'm gonna use. You can see how it's all wobbly, but once you put them on top of each other, you have the correct size. So this is where it has to be wide enough for your arm to fit over here. For me, that was right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then actually on the 10th one, right here, which I already started, is where I want to connect the two so that I don't have to do any sewing or them together. I connect them on that last row. So I'm going all the way around on the 10th one until I hit that last one right here. So that's where I am now. There's only that because that's the beginning, and that's where I am right now. So that last edge there, that 6th edge, that's where I want to connect the two, so that the arm hole for the entire arm there is connected. And I want to move it around. You can move them, fold them many different ways, so that actually once I get down there, I am at the end of the arm. Going down there. Or you can move it around actually, because I want to continue on to the other side. But if you want to do the same color for the edge there along the arm, then you do it this way. But so to connect them, you're just going to go into the chain 1 space in the corner, doing a slip stitch, and then moving on to, or actually going into that same first one there, that chain 1 space in that corner, and doing another 3 double crochets in there, so that you have the entire corner just like it is on that side. And then you're moving it on to the next space, just slip stitch right into that, and then another cluster into the next space. And that's how you're going to have it opposite from the other side. And then you can move on to the next space on the top side, slip stitch through that, and then again a cluster into the next space. Slip stitch in the next space on the other side, and so on forth until you're at the edge of the top of the arm length. Just slip stitching into that one side and adding the clusters on the other side. And in the end, just slip stitch through both sides. And then you're done with your first area there. And then you have to do a second one, like I said, because it's going to be a left side and a right side. So once you have that, you can start with the arms. You can either continue with the clusters of double crochets if you want to have a longer arm there, but I want to have it really be a short sleeve. But if you have longer sleeve or long sleeve, you can just do more rows there. But in the end, you want to have the band going on. I actually changed over to this white here. It's also a medium weight yarn, and I used a smaller crochet hook. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So depending how long you want that, I'd like to have like one about this size, so I did 6. And then a single crochet into the second chain from the stitch or your hook, and then all the way along the ends there. So it's going to be 5 single crochets. And now we have to connect it to the armhole, and I want to have it, cinched in. So I'm going to do a decrease 2 together single crochet right there, followed by a regular single crochet into the next stitch along the edge there. And then you turn it around. You skip those 2 stitches there and just go right into the arm area that goes up, but you're going to do now a back loop single crochet. So it's going to be 4 back loop single crochets along that edging, and then a single crochet into the last stitch. Chain 1, turn it around, do another single crochet into that same stitch there, and then 4 back loop single crochets coming down, and that gives you the ribbing around the armhole. And then so at the bottom again, do that 2 together decrease, and then a single crochet. So a decrease 2 single crochet followed by a single crochet, turn around, and then go again along the ribbing, the 4 back loop single crochets, and then a regular single crochet into the top. Followed by a chain, turn it around, and go back and forth until you're at the end there, right here, where we have to combine them. And I do that with just doing a slip stitch all along, just going in first, back into the edge there with a slip stitch, and then pull them together and slip stitch along the edge. And that gives you the ribbing right there. So that looks good. And then now though we have to lengthen the sides here in between, because right now it's not really covering too much of the shoulder. and it's also not long enough. So I'm gonna just do it all the way around, just going round and round. And I did 3 rows, but again, depending on your length, so just measure it or do a few rows, put it on and see if that covers you, goes to the neck close enough once you did, and if it's long enough. So otherwise you just start with 3 chains again in the corner, and then 2 double crochets in that corner as well, and go along just like you did before, a cluster into each space between 2 clusters, and then the cluster cluster, chain 1, cluster into each corner. And you're gonna go, I mean, like I said, I did 3 rounds along that. Basically what's left now is the front, the bottom, and the back. So it's 3 sides left, because you connected 2 sides of the 6, and then the armhole is the last side. Once you completed those rows, you also have to add 2 more rows to the bottom of the sweater. So there at the end, you just do a single double crochet into that corner, turn it around, chain 3, and then do 2 double crochets into that corner, or actually that space that you have there as well, because you only have, and then keep on going with the 3 double crochets along the edge, and then do the same on the other side and turn around. So to actually have that straight edge for 2 rows at the bottom, you're going up with a single double crochet, and then here in the back where you have the 3, you go in there and also do that single double crochet, so that you have the edge there. And that's all you need. You can cut it off there. And then I'm going to show you how to do the heart. We're also starting with that smaller crochet hook and the 4 medium-sized yarn. I used this nice pink one that's the same as the other, and everything will be linked in my description as well to all the yarns. So a slip knot, magic loop, it's probably the easiest to say, right there. And then it's almost the same, but instead of doing the hexagon, we're going to do it with 4. It's really going to be a square. So 3 chains, and then 2 double crochets. Chain 1, and another 3 double crochets. So it's just like the start of 1/2 of the sweater one side. So you have to do 2 of the other one that I just explained to you. But this one's only going to be 4 in a row, and that a magic loop instead of the 6. So 4 of those corners, or the 3 double crochets, those clusters, 1, 2, 3, 1 more. And then tighten up the magic ring or loop and slip stitch to start. And there you have the 4 corners right here. So on to the next round. Going to chain 3 and do 2 double crochets into that chain 1 space from the previous round. And then going into the next space, and that's that chain 1 space actually. You do 3 double crochets, a chain, and again 3 double crochets. So you really have those corners going on. On to the next one. Again, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. And then the same into that third space. And then one more cluster of 3 double crochets into that first or last or whatever space right there to complete the round. Chain 1 and slip stitch to start. And that's the base of the heart right there. Tighten the knot some more. And now in the next round, that's when we're going to change colors so that you're going to have the shape for the heart going on. So I'm going to use some white yarn for that, the same weight, 4mm. I mean, number 4 medium size. So chain 3, go into that chain 1 space from the previous round and do 2 more double crochets into that. And then for the next one, we actually have to change color. So we're going to go back and not complete this one. And going to pull up the next color into that chain there. And tighten everything. And then use the white into that space for a cluster. And that's going to be the top of the heart. It's like the V shape that's on top. So going back again, because we have to move back into the red. And you can cut them always. I just like to leave them hanging while I'm doing it so I don't have to use the scissors in between. But you can also cut them in between. So into that chain 1 space, do 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets. So that's the corner space. And then moving on to the next space, you stay with that color. Just doing a cluster right in there. That's in between the other clusters. And then change over to white again. Into the next corner space. So 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into that corner space with the white color. And then there we already got into the tip of the heart, so we have to change back to the red. It seems like a lot of changing, but actually isn't. But in the end, you really do have a lot of ends that you have to weave in. But that's just the name of the game. Right there. And now switch back to the white. And again in the corner space, in that chain 1 space, 3 double crochets, chain 1 space and 3 double crochets. And then you can see already how the heart is forming. So going back to the pink. A cluster into that cluster space, or the space in between the other 2 clusters from the previous round. Always tightening everything. And then one more cluster into that last chain 1 space, followed by a chain 1 space, or chain 1 actually, and then slip stitch to the start. And there you already have the heart shape. Now we just have to do one more row of just white all around it so that you can really see it. And there you have all the ones that you need to cut and weave in. Okay, so actually want to pull up the white with the last slip stitch. And then chain 3, 2 double crochets into that last chain 1 space. And then just a cluster in the space between the clusters. And then the same into the next space. Then 3 double crochets, chain 1 space, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets into that chain 1 space from the previous round. So that's the corner there. And along the edge, a cluster in between the clusters. There's another one. And there's the next corner, that chain 1 space that gets 3 double crochets, a chain 1 and 3 double crochets. And keep on going all the way around. We're halfway there, well, a little bit more than now. Those clusters along the edge. And then the 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the corner. And one more side, clusters along the edges. Well, it's really just 2 clusters along that one last edge. And now the last 3 double crochets right there into that last chain 1 space. And then chain 1 and slip stitch to the start. And that's your nice heart motif for the front and the back, so you need 6 of them. And here I am really quickly working on all of those. Another one done. 1, 2, 3 for the front, and now you have to connect them. I love using that visible seam for it. So I left a long tail on each of the hearts in the white, and then just go right in between the stitches there so that it won't be seen, and then go back and forth along the stitches there from each side. And this way also you really have those double crochets matching up. So like you can go right in between there. And it's amazing how nicely that matches up. I just recently started using that method of connecting the pieces, and it's so nice, so much better and so much fun, just like pulling it tight, and then you have it just whoop, be all one. And then also, if you ever did something wrong, it's really easy to take out. As long as you haven't woven in all the ends, you just pull it and whoops, it comes out really easily. So it's a win-win on everything here. I think that's the only stitch I'm going to use to connect two pieces of crochet, unless I need something really decorative. But really, crochet itself, all the stitches are so decorative already. I don't think you really have to do that when connecting two pieces. So it's just like that, going back and forth. And then pulling it tight. Look at how exciting this is. So once you're finished, make sure you still have enough of like leeway and room, but it really matches up. So there, my two pieces, they're connected. I have those 3 for the back and the front. And then there's a little space here on top for the neck. So you have to make sure just when you adjust the sizes that you leave enough space for the top. And then you do the same method stitch here and connect each side with the hearts. So you're doing the same one with the back and forth in between the stitches. And you're doing that for the front pieces left and right, and then for the back pieces also left and right. So just like I said, if you adjust the length of the top, then you might need to add another heart to it, which wouldn't be bad, which probably would look nice too, but you just have to make sure that you adjust the size accordingly. So here I am, it's all complete. It's the front and back. We just have to do the neck opening and also the bottom. Then it's done. So the bottom I'm going to just like this, but for the neck I'm just going to do a simple line there of two lines of single crochet, so that it's not too tight. And since it's more of like a sort of summer sweater, I made it short sleeve and also cropped. So attach it, chain 1, and then just do a single crochet all along the edge there. And I started in the back of the sweater just because I have long hair. That definitely covers that area, so it won't be seen. And then you just have to go around the corner there. With the single crochet, it's not as important. You can still go into each stitch, or you just leave the middle part out and go around there so that it really curves. And then just keep on going a single crochet into each stitch all along the edge until you get to the front again, slip stitch to the start, then chain 1 and do another round of single crochets around there. And now that's all complete, just needs to be all woven in. And now the bottom, I'm going to do the same as the cuffs. I'm going to start on the side though here. And also chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I made this a little longer. So, and then 8, and do a single crochet for the second chain from the hook, and then all along the edge. So it's going to be a count of 7, so like the hand or the arm that I did 5. So 7 single crochets all along the edge there. For that little tail here. And then doing the same dot along the edges there that you're going to have it cinched again so that it's tighter. Do the decrease 2 together single crochet and then a regular single crochet into the next one. Turn it around, skip those 2 dots, turn it around, and then just do a back loop single crochet along the edge. This time it's going to be 6 back loop single crochets and then a regular single crochet into that last stitch. right there. It's always a little hard to get in that first one. Then chain 1, turn it around, and another single crochet into that same stitch, and then 6 back loop single crochets along the edge going down. And then again, once you're there, along the edge, do a decrease, 2 together, single crochet decrease, and then a regular single crochet into the next chain or loop there, and then skip those 2 and just go back right into your tail part here, into that cuff, or it's actually not a cuff at the bottom, just the trim, and then do that all the way around, and then your sweater is complete. And here it is. I really love this sweater. It's so comfortable and cozy. You can adjust the size, like I said. But thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video.